So, hey guys, so I was wondering, can you guys do like a video or a post on being able to get tickets now at a discounted rate and waiting and traveling after the quarantine, or like some type of information on it, because all these tickets are cheap now. So do we get them now and just lose out if you don't get to travel anymore? Or
hey kids, I'm Kamal.
I'm Selena.
And this is The City and Beyond. And we've heard you got some questions. In today's video, we're going to discuss travel and the current pandemic situation.
And we're not travel experts, nor are any of our fellow friends that are in this video, but we thought we would make this video because a lot of you actually encouraged us to, and really you guys appreciate our perspective on things, i.e. the economic crash of 2020 video. So we just thought we'd go ahead with it.
So a couple of quick updates. First, we are still in lockdown at the recording of this video in the metro New York area on the New Jersey side. Jersey. We were going to go to TravelCon, a travel conference later this year in May. That has been rescheduled until September. We also had plans before all this came to be to go to Europe in December. That, as of right now, is still going to happen. We had plans to go to Portland earlier this month. That did not happen. Oregon, because we've already been to Maine. We'd also like to go to Canada at some point. That one is kind of an afterthought, if I'm being honest.
So we'll just try to squeeze in whatever we can at this point.
Yeah, that is all our plans that we have thus far. I guess it's an ever-evolving situation, so as things change, we'll course correct on it, but that's pretty much where we stand as far as updates with us.
Earlier in the video, as you saw or heard, we had an audio message from someone, and we actually broke that question up into like a couple of pieces, and then we added the rest after that. So first question: flights are super low right now. Should I buy them even though it's unsure what will happen next?
Yes. And the reason why I'm going to say yes is this is an ever-evolving thing, and I'm not sure if you are checking the headlines because there's a lot of information coming at you right now, but the airlines are in dire straits. For what reasons, we will not get into at a moment right now. So yes, buy them because they will honor them if you need to reschedule. This is an ever-evolving situation, and who knows what's going to happen 3 to 6 months from now, and it'd be great for you to lock in that price and take the trip of your dreams.
So my point of view is a little different from that, where it really is up to you. You have to weigh the pros and the cons. Like the example the young lady gave in the message is actually like a flight's $30, and like it's really cheap and you just want to get it, and it's like in a couple of months. So you have to think to yourself, do you mind losing that $30 if you can't get it back because there's no travel, there's no flights being flown for non-essential travelers, or like if something else happens and we're on a lockdown or whatever else? If the answer is yes, then yes. But if you're kind of like, and $30 is just an example, but if you're like, no, I don't want to spend this low cost amount for a flight and then possibly lose it, like I'm not willing to gamble, then the answer is probably no. But in the end, the answer I gave back to specifically her was yes, also have to think if this flight is, or this trip that you might want for this particular place is something that you're going to do in, let's say, September. There's a good chance that a lot of people won't be traveling still because they're just, scared, nervous, and airlines are going to have to get people's trust back. So those cheap flights that are going on now may not be that expensive closer to the date of when you want to go. So if you can wait just a little bit longer, and let's say the price is now $45, again, this is just an example, then if you're okay with $45 also, then just wait a little closer to September and then buy it then, because there is a chance that airlines are going to have pretty cheap tickets, especially for certain destinations, for a while, just to kind of entice people to actually travel so they can make money.
It's also based around demand, and as you'd imagine, with everyone on lockdown, demand is very low.
The second part of that same question was, if we do get them, the flights that is, will travel insurance make a difference, or the airline waive fees?
No. And this is just to show you that, like, we don't see eye to eye on everything, because we're individuals even though we're a couple. Because Selena's answer might differ from mine, but you have perspective, right?
Yeah.
I would say do not get travel insurance, and I will tell you why. I would say not get travel insurance because, first off, you would have to make sure that it's one that handles flight cancellation for no reason, number one.
Exactly.
Number two, if it is one of these flights that are under $100, you should be okay with losing it unless you're in an economic situation or there's some sort of family emergency. But if it's an economic situation, you probably shouldn't be buying these tickets anyway, even if it's for the grant. So I do not believe you should get it. And again, as Selena said earlier, some of these airlines are going to try to entice us to come back. I am praying they take the T-Mobile approach and just start giving us stuff for free, i.e. check bags, even though we don't do them.
We do not do check bags.
But for everyone else, and for, you know, anybody in the Caribbean and other countries that like to take suitcases full of stuff for their family, it'd be great for you. But I do not believe traveler's insurance is going to help you at this point in time. I would say no. I feel like the cons of having travel insurance at this point in time does not outweigh the, or does rather outweigh the pros of getting it. When this clears up, even in a moderate sense, by all means get it, but right now, no.
And if the airline's gonna waive your fees, I don't foresee that being a thing for very long, like into 2021 or anything like that, or even fall, winter, because the thing is that we have a lot of information about what is going on and how to prevent the virus from spreading and all the precautions to take. With that said, when we were all kind of like in the shock and like the lockdowns and just trying to just survive, I think that's why a lot of airlines were waiving fees and are waiving fees. But will they do that in the future? Possibly not, because you know what to do, and like now you're deciding to travel if they haven't already, because some companies have already waived fees until next year.
Yes.
So like the ones that haven't are the ones I'm talking about. Like I think that's why they aren't, because they don't want to do it at some point. So don't depend on those waived fees for the whole rest of the year if the travel airline hasn't done it already. What will you adjust, if anything, in your future travel plans?
Hi there, I'm Calvin, and I'm on YouTube and social media under the Calvin Chronicles. What will I adjust in any future travel plans? I'm definitely looking forward to getting back on the road and in the air again as soon as possible. I do know in the near future that my travels will be close to home near Louisiana and Texas. The biggest reason for that is not that I'm fearful of anything health-wise, but there's possibly concerns about still events being canceled or postponed. So if I am staying close to home, it wouldn't be that big of an inconvenience. I can just either come home or stay with family if any accommodations or plans are affected. I do look forward to traveling internationally in the future. I do expect that countries will have changes to their immigration policies, so we may have to make some adjustments there. I also expect that airports will be making changes, but we'll also have to be responsible for our own choices. So I don't know for me if that means wearing a mask on airplanes, but it is something that I'll at least think about in the future. But I'm not going to stop traveling. I love exploring the U.S. and the world, and I can't wait to safely get back out there and travel again.
Thank you for your response. We really appreciate it. That whatever we believed was normal 6 months ago is not going to be a thing anymore, and I feel like that will be the big acclimation that we'll have to make. Aside from that, it will be, for lack of a better term, business as usual. Everything will go exactly according to plan. I have a feeling that if this gets worse before it gets better, and it has actually been getting progressively better, and if you don't believe that, we can at least agree that it's been moderately the same. I think that maybe some countries might ask for some sort of vaccinations like they do in countries anyway, and that might be a difference. But other than that, I think it's going to be virtually the same once things start picking up.
And vaccine to me is like once the vaccine is
created,
once
the vaccine
like
is created.
it being required that you have it to enter another country.
In the next year or two, if that was not clear.
Will you leave the country? Yes. How far in advance should I plan my trips now?
I would say, if you are extremely optimistic, 3 to 6 months. If you are moderately optimistic, 6 to 9 months. And if you don't think this is happening anytime soon, 1.5 years. That way, by that point, the vaccination is out and you can be like, oh, I'm good, I'm free, I'm clear.
I would just say, just buy your tickets closer to when you want to go. Like Kamal said earlier, we had already planned that we wanted to go to Europe in December.
Yes.
Before the year started, and we still want to go. And usually around this time, we would really start thinking about, have the money ready to buy tickets whenever they're the cheapest. We're gonna have to book closer, in my opinion. I usually, well, we both like watch the pricing and stuff, but I'm thinking, like, I'm watching them, but I'm also considering how close I want to get them to December. So, because then we'll have a better idea of what's going on, what we need, how, if anything, will be open, or will we actually enjoy the countries that we want to go to, and all that stuff. Do you think travel will go back to normal?
90% of me wants to say yes. Travel will indubitably go back to normal. I feel like whenever some sort of major event happens in the world, there is a percentage of people that say that's it, that's the end of it. I have people that I work with that are older, #OkBoomer, that refuse to fly now since 9/11. They used to fly all the time, but now they will only go places they can drive to. They will take that 18 to 24 hour drive from this area to Florida to go visit family because they are so afraid of flying. But I am of the mindset of, that's how the terrorists win.
So that's how the virus wins.
That's how fear wins in general. Short of somebody saying, no, these airplanes are petri dishes and every time you get on it, you're infecting yourself and a million other people, I believe we will continue to travel the same.
The norm as we know it is not the norm of our parents back in the day. It's not the norm of their parents back in the day.
Yeah.
It's not the norm for everybody around the country, for example. Like, the norm is
Evolving.
what is gonna, it's ever evolving,
That's
and
true.
it changes with society. And I think because we're gonna change as a society, regardless of what immediate society you're a part of, in America, New York City, Bali, New Jersey, Italy, I think that it's gonna change. The norms are gonna change as the society changes. But will it go back to what it was when we were all different, or the people who never experienced a lockdown? Probably not. Is really the shortest way to say it, even after that explanation.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Tim and I am here today in Bali, Indonesia. I've been here in quarantine for, oh God, does anybody really know how long? Since the middle of March I've been here, and it's now the end of April, so what is that? At least 45 days here. It's been different. It's definitely been different. Not necessarily so bad. As you can see, I've got a cool pool and a beautiful home, much nicer than my normal New York City apartment. The question is though, when this is all over, will I be more selective in places that I travel? That's a really good question. I grew up, traveling. My family is all in aviation and, the travel industry, so it's kind of in my blood. I can't really say that I'll be that selective. I mean, based upon what I'm seeing right now, like, most places are actually handling things a little bit better than the United States. So even here in specifically this island of Bali, 4 million people, but it does seem that they do have it in some way under control compared to, hundreds of thousands of cases in the United States of America. So will I be more selective? I'm really not sure. It's too soon to say, but I'm gonna say probably no. We know so little about this virus at this point that who's to say that somewhere that appears to be safer, or somewhere that appears to be not as safe is not as safe. I really don't see myself being, tremendously selective because we don't really know that much about this virus as of yet. We don't know which areas are quote unquote safe and which areas are not. We know that, techniques like social distancing can help, but we really don't know. So I gotta say, it's gonna be kind of an even guess on where anyone goes. One country is gonna be just as valid in going to as another country. So I don't think I'm gonna be too selective. Obviously, if you hear about like a major outbreak or, a second wave or a third wave happening in such and such a place, sure, you avoid those places or, you take extreme extra precaution. But I really right now have been trapped for a long time and I just want to go anywhere. It doesn't really matter where. So this opinion may change down the road, but for now I don't think I'm going to be tremendously selective going forward.
Thanks, Tim. And now back to Tom with the weather. All right. You've now heard Tim's perspective, and I guess we'll give you ours. And again, I don't know how Selena feels about this. We didn't actually rehearse this one beforehand, but I'm going to go back to what I just said a second ago, and no, because that's how the terrorists win.
My perspective on this is no, also, because like I answered someone else who asked us a similar question. We live, and I'm doing like the urban hand clap. We live in the number 2 highest diagnosed area in the world. So who am I to judge another country or city at this point? Thank you to our fellow travel content creators that contributed to this video. We really appreciate different points of view on things. Obviously, we even have different points of view. And let's keep the conversation going.
Please.
Leave a comment below. And we have one question for you. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you have more information that you want to share with us or something to add to the conversation? Also, like us if you like us. And
remember to subscribe and click the little notification bell so you know when we upload another video, even though you did that already. Didn't you? Didn't you?
Whoa, so aggressive. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.